Hey, my friend. Welcome back to the Cosmic Mystic. In today's episode of Rise and Align is really from my heart to yours. And I want to share something that I haven't really talked about publicly yet. And it's why I almost didn't bring back my container, formerly known as Cosmic Alignment, and how it has evolved into now the Rise and Align experience, and just sharing some things, because I think it's important that we share this, because there are times in our life that we want to throw in the towel. We want to give up on an offer, a relationship, a habit. And one of the things that I have learned is when things don't feel exciting, or maybe they feel heavy or they feel hard, we are out of alignment with it. And so I want to talk about how we can get back in alignment or make decisions that maybe we just need to let it go, or maybe we just need to put it on the back burner, and how to kind of get to that place where, is this what I actually want to do? Or am I just throwing it all away? So this is for you if you know that you are meant to be living, leading, and receiving from a completely different frequency, but maybe you haven't quite landed there yet. So let's talk. My friend, if you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Danny Simonis. I am the creator of the Inner Alchemy Method. And I am also the creator of the Rise and Align experience, which I'll tell you a little bit about at the end of this video. But my passion is in helping spiritual, high achieving, introverted women, entrepreneurs who are ready to let go of the expectations of others, who are ready to really honor themselves and do that inner work so that they can show up in their full power. It's one of my favorite things to do, to help them lead and guide them into a life and a business that truly honors who they are. And so here on the channel and on the podcast, we have these weekly Rise and Align series episodes where we focus on the mind, body, and soul. We go beyond the mindset, because it's one thing to reframe something or to think about something in a new way or offer a new perspective, but it's a whole other thing to then take that and embody it and shift it on a soul level. And so my goal with every single one of these episodes and with the entire Rise and Align experience is to activate that mind, body, and soul. So if you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe, follow the playlist, and come back, because normally on these episodes we have breathworks. This one, we're not going to do a breathwork today, but we definitely we might take a few deep breaths, let's just say that. But breathwork is something that has really helped me understand how to get back into my body, how to connect with my body, and how to shift things more on that level. So we're gonna do some breathwork. And also you can find the audio of these Rise and Align series on the Cosmic Mystic podcast, whether you're catching that on your favorite podcast place, whether that's here on YouTube or another platform, or just simply can watch these YouTube videos. So let's go ahead. I want to tell you a little bit about, I built Cosmic Alignment. I was like, I wanted to say Rise and Align already. That's how much I have shifted away from that energy of Cosmic Alignment. But I built a program called Cosmic Alignment. It was a 60-day reset at the end of the year. So we're moving into fall, and I kept hearing a lot of people talk about how they were like kind of done. There's like, oh, I'm done for the year, right? And it's almost as if everything was being put on the back burner until next year. And I was like, wait a minute. We need to finish this year strong, right? Maybe there's goals that you had that you hadn't quite achieved yet. And so I say we, like I built this container so that we could do this, because I really built this container for myself. I needed the structure. I needed the accountability. I needed the focus. And so that very first round, that's what it was. It was a place where we could set our desires and the things that we wanted to manifest in the next 60 days. We met 3 times a week for our daily intention calls. We filled out a beautiful sheet that has been refined over the years, but filled it out and just really becoming that conscious manifester, right? Consciously creating our day, consciously creating, and so that we could attract the things into our lives, so that we could hit our goals. And so the next time I ran it, I noticed there was a few things that I wanted to add in, which was like a welcome call, some bonus calls. I started adding in some weekly themes and getting a little bit more adamant about the weekly themes, which are all based on how to manifest and how to move through the things that are blocking us into manifestation. And it's also part of the sacred healing spiral. And so we would use those 60 days, because it was a 60-day reset, to kind of move through those things. And I ran it one more time after that. And after the last round of cosmic alignment, it was complete. Like, I felt like, okay, this was good. It was great. People loved it. The support calls, people always love the support calls. I even almost continued to offer those for my Sacred CEO members ongoing, because I just love those calls. They're the perfect blend. It's 37 minutes now. It's a 37-minute call, and everything that we do in that call is to align you to your energy and align you for that day ahead in what you consciously want to bring into your day, what you're consciously creating, right? Being that conscious manifester, not the manifester on the sidelines, not the one who's just haphazardly manifesting, but being very conscious of what it is that you desire. And if I'm really being honest about this, like, something in me knew that this was not aligned any longer. Like, I loved the support calls and I loved what we were doing, but it just didn't feel as it was what I was really wanting. And so I wanted to create a container, but I didn't want to like redo it just because it had worked, just because I had it set up, right? And I was really resisting rerunning it, so much so that the time that I was supposed to rerun it earlier this year, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it, and didn't even start working on it. And even though I have everything really mapped out, everything, like, I could just send the emails out, right? It was that set up where I could just like hit go and everything would flow, but I was just having a lot of resistance to it. And I wanted to just simply burn it down. I wanted to just say, that's it. I'm not going to offer this anymore. I'm done with it. Like, it's not what I want to do anymore. And, it so happens that you got to love spirit, right? Spirit always knows where to find you, right? In the right time, in the right place, like divine timing. And so we were in Vegas earlier this year. We always go on a trip around May, June for our birthdays. My love and I, our birthdays are in May and June. And so we usually try to find some time where we can get away around our birthdays, just kind of celebrate and bring in our new year. And so here we are in Vegas, and I was floating in a pool, and I got a really clear download. I got many downloads, but this one was the one that I needed to hear around cosmic alignment. And that was that it was a time to evolve it, not time to throw it away, but time to evolve it. It was ready to evolve. When I felt into the energy and the container of what cosmic alignment was, the structure was solid. What it needed, though, was to be evolved. And what it needed was the embodiment piece, embodying the version of us that we keep thinking about or dreaming about or visualizing, or the one that we meet in in meditations, right? It's that version of us that we actually just need to decide that that's who we are, and we just need to be that person. And that was something that I felt was missing from the entire piece. And so when I started to look back, I'm like, wow, okay, things started to shift. And I'm like, sometimes that we want to give something up, right? Sometimes we want to just throw it all away. We want to burn it all down, and we want to start new. And sometimes, though, what we really need to do is just let it sit. Let it remain open, and allow ourselves to receive answers and then act accordingly. Because sometimes when we receive those downloads aren't always meant for us to act upon right now. Sometimes they're meant for us to sit with, sometimes they're meant for us to put on the back burner, to wait on. And I think it's important that when you're trying to decide whether you should burn something down, right? Whether you should make a decision, whether it was about a relationship or whether it's about a new habit that you're trying to do or a new offer that you might be wanting to put out, it's important for you to take a moment, right? And to sit with it and say, what does this entity, this whatever it is, what does it want? And so if it's a relationship, what is this relationship between this person and I? What does this relationship want? Does it want to be healed? Are there things that we want to do? Or is this relationship something that we're ready to let go? Recently, earlier this year, right, I was in a community that I came, a couple of things had happened and I was like, I don't think this is the community for me. But instead of just making that decision right away and saying, this isn't for me any longer, I sat with it. And actually, indeed, I had made a decision, but I wanted to give myself space because in human design, I am an emotional authority. And so I do need to ride my waves, right? I do need to allow the wave of emotion to kind of go through where I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then, hit the bottom and be like, but, right? And so I had to ride that emotional wave and I needed that space. And so if you are also an emotional authority, I would highly recommend that you make sure you ride the wave fully until you can get to the place where you're like, okay, this is what I want to decide now. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I think this is helpful for most everybody in a sense of taking a step back and really thinking about what is it that you wanted? Because I knew the structure of cosmic alignment, the bones of it were solid. I knew the intention behind it was solid. And I had all of that and I knew it and I could feel that, but I still felt like there was something else that I wanted in there. And so I allowed myself the space to figure that out, right? And so on that pull, I was able to see that. So I'll give you another example of how sometimes this can come into play. And this might be around morning routines. I hear a lot about morning routines, and I actually have thought about doing some videos on morning routines because I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on morning routine. So for years I had heard, right, like get up first thing in the morning and meditate, right? You got to get up first thing in the morning and go meditate, or you got to get first thing in the morning and go exercise, right? And so for years, I tried to meditate first thing in the morning because it's supposed to be the best thing for you, right? It clears your head, grounds you, and you get ready for your day. And I know lots of people that do it first thing in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I should be a person, right, that can do this, but it didn't work for me. It never worked for me. I thought that I wasn't good at meditation because I couldn't do it first thing in the morning. What it actually was, is that wasn't the time of day for me to do meditation. So what I did was allow myself to be open to what my morning routine could look like. What this space, this morning routine, what does it want? What do I need, right? My morning routine was all about, if we cut it down to the very bottom, my morning routine was about what I needed to prepare myself for the day. And so I started to allow myself to play around with different things that I could do in the morning and leaning into the things that felt really good to do and realizing what wasn't good for me to do or didn't kind of felt abrupt or didn't really flow, because there are things that we can do first thing in the morning that really flow, and there are things that just don't work, right? And that's what I did. I allowed myself to look at okay, what could my morning routine look like? What are the things that make me feel good that I can do, and not the actual actions, but the things that would make me feel that way, right? So if I'm like, I have too many thoughts in my head, I need to get my thoughts out, I might go for a walk to clear my head, right? Or I might sit down with my journal and journal. But it was that idea of, I have a lot of thoughts in the morning, especially when the moon is moving through an air sign. And so I know that those days I need to like get the stuff out of my head. And so creating, knowing that that was what it was and not putting a specific action to it, but knowing that I could pull out my journal and journal for a few minutes to get the things out of my head, or I could go to my Notion and type in all my to-dos because there are a million to-dos, or I could grab my phone recorder and just record a message, or I could simply just go for a walk, right? I know that there are actions, steps that I can do, but giving myself that space to say, this is what I need. How are all the ways that I can do that? And just having those as an idea, right? I can, if I have a lot of time, I can sit down and journal. If I just have a few minutes, maybe it's just writing the to-do list, right? And so I started to own my own morning routine. And in fact, I don't even call it a morning routine because I just don't like the word morning. I don't really, it's one of the reasons why I say like happy Wednesday or happy Friday. I don't say morning because I feel like it has that feeling of morning energy, like we're mourning something. And why would we mourn our day? Like there's a whole thing, right? So I don't say that. I usually will call it like my higher self connection. It's had a number of names over the years, but higher self connection, my millionaire mindset, my alignment session, like I've called it a number of things that felt right for me in that time. So I didn't burn my morning routine, right? I didn't burn it all down. I allowed myself to be really curious about what felt good, what would work for me. And that is actually how I created our daily intention sheet. So inside Rise and Align, we have this daily intention sheet that we fill out every single day. It's a 1-pager. Now, if you want to do more, there's a second page that you can actually, journal on. But it's a 1-pager. It's like one thing, and it completely shifts your frequency and sets you into being the creator, being the manifester who is creating from this place, right? Raising your frequency and just having you be in this space of, I am in control of my day, right? I am choosing what I want my reality to look like today. And it's a frequency alignment, right? So as I sat with what was missing in cosmic alignment and hearing where my clients were struggling, conversations with friends, and just knowing my own journey, I saw that that missing piece was the embodiment, which was where it landed to me, that was what was needing. We simply are missing the piece of deciding and then acting from that place of that decision. And so that was what I have done over and over in my journey, was make a decision, decide that this is what I'm now doing, this is who I am now, and choosing that person every single day and acting from that place every single day. As a woman, as a leader, as a mystic, I trust myself. I trust my timing. I rest. I say no. I protect my rhythm. I've embodied that version of me because there was a time where I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my timing. I didn't rest. I didn't say no. I didn't protect my own rhythm. I didn't honor my own rhythm. But that version of me was here now. She has always been here. I have been the person not connected to her. And so I chose to embody that next version now. And she isn't somewhere in the future. She is me here. She is me now. And so if I am her now, right, I'm going to choose to anchor her in daily. She's in my morning routine, when I set my intentions, when I move my body, when I show up in my breath work. She's in my boundaries, where I have these tech-free weekends. I have, do not disturb on most of my days. My capacity, she's in how I lead, where I don't lead from desperation or trying to prove something, but from a place of overflow and truth. She is there. She is who I am, right? She's who I am now. So when I reimagined the Rise and Align experience, I knew that it had to hold this place of embodiment that really needed to come through. And so, Rise and Align was never meant to be a course. It was never meant to be like this, program. It's always been an opportunity for us to shift our identity, to align our energy and true devotion to who we are. And so in this version, it's become a 12-week journey of identity shift, energy alignment, and devotion to self. This round, I have added in weekly energetic themes that move through the 12 universal laws. So I think if we're going to be manifestors, if we're going to manifest what it is that we desire, then that is the key, first off, to manifesting. It's also the key to understanding true sovereignty, right? When you can understand the universal laws and how to work with them, you become this sovereign person that knows that you are in charge, right? You are in control of your reality, right? So we deepen into our weekly rhythm, into the weekly themes where I'm going to be teaching, right, about the universal laws, and it's designed to shift you from the inside out, because we don't externally, right, shift. We internally shift first so that our external reality can shift. We can't change the outside, right? We can't change it. It is what it is. We can't change people. I know you know this. Only thing we have control over, the only thing we can change is ourselves. And once we change ourselves, then our environment changes, then how we see things changes, then our interactions changes, right? So first we got to start here. We got to start from the inside out, because that's where change happens. So we root in with our daily intention setting practice, which is daily somatic breathwork is in there. We step into the role, the creator of our reality. And we do that by gathering in our support calls, which are three times a week, right? Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have a support call at 8:23 Central. And I want to say this because there is a reason for the 8:23 a.m. When I looked at my day, first thing in the morning for me, it is not the best time for me, as I said, to sit in a meditation. It is not the best time for me to go and exercise. Now, moving or movement is definitely something that is needed first thing in the morning for me. And so going for a walk with handsome Jake, my pug, or, getting up and taking a shower, or getting up and just kind of like doing the dishes, cleaning up, like tidying, right? Doing tidying of the house actually makes me feel really good, right? The house is like clean, it's tidy, it feels good. We're going for my walk with Jake. I've gotten some movement in. I'm watching the sunrise right now, which is so beautiful to see the sunrise as I'm on my walk. It's great. I love it. And so doing those things first, right? So you might be getting the kids off ready for school, or you might off to the gym, right? You might be doing something first thing in the morning, but then you sit down to get to work, right? And that's exactly what happens. I sit down to get to work, and it's like, okay, it's before I get to work, I want to now start. I want to now anchor myself in. So even if I'm somebody who works in a corporate job, right? Let's say I was still working in my corporate job before I walked into the office. And as a matter of fact, before I left my corporate job, I had it was about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour drive to where I worked. Excuse me. And I would drive all the way there. I would get there and I would take a few moments before I walked into the office to set my intentions for the day, to set my mind, to take a few deep breaths before I did breath work. But it was an opportunity for me to just like gather my energy, because I knew I was going to have to walk into this place that was very tense and very high stress, right? And so I knew that I had to prepare myself. It's the same type of idea, my friend. It's the 8:23 is that moment right before you're about to dive into your day, where you're about to get going on the work. And before you do that, we've got to align our energy. And so whatever your 823 is, this is the beauty of it. So yes, I'm creating that container of 823 Central Time for us to have the support calls. But if you're like in Pacific Time, and I know I have people in Pacific Time because I was on Pacific Time for most of my life, that, you know, that's at 6:23 a.m. for you. So that might be when you are getting the kids off to school, when you're getting ready, right, to leave for the day. But whatever your 823 is, that's the beauty, is that they are recorded and I upload them right away so that you can have that for your 823. So these aren't strategy sessions. They're not where you're going to come and you're going to ask questions. This is where you align with your energy. And so we walk through the process. I walk you through that process every single morning to anchor into yourself, to come back home to self, to step into the creator, to step into that powerful version of you, the version of you who you desire to be now, and then create your day, create your reality. So there's journaling in there, right? We do little morning pages in there. We center, we ground, we breathe, and then we align our intentions. We align with our intentions for the day. It's simple. I'm telling you, my friend, it's like the simplest practice you could possibly do. And I could give you that sheet and you could go off and do it, and it would change you, right? It would absolutely shift your energy, because it's where you come home to you. It's where you come home to yourself. And you might look at it and say like, okay, great. Another thing to do, Danny, another thing on my to-do list. And that's not what this is. This isn't another thing to do. This is the thing to do. This is the thing that anchors you. This is the thing that moves you into that embodiment. And when you do this practice, it's going to shape your entire day, which is going to change your reality, which is going to allow you to be in the frequency of attracting what it is that you desire. If you want to radiate and be that magnet that pulls people into your orbit, then this practice, my friend, just alone, having that consciousness of this is what I'm creating and being in that powerful place, it changes everything. And you can go off and do it alone, and I would highly recommend that you go and do that. Now, I know for me that I needed the structure. I needed the container. I needed the accountability, which is why I created it originally. Plus, you're going to learn how to work and move through the universal laws. So again, I created this for me because it's what I needed to get to my next version. And this is also for the person who is done with the journaling, who's done with the vision boards, who's done with the visualizing, and has still, because you've done all that, my friend, I know you have, but you're still feeling like there's something missing. I felt the same way. This is for somebody who is ready to stop manifesting unconsciously, who is ready to become the version of yourself that you keep seeing in your meditations or your visualizations, who you keep visualizing you're wanting to step into, who's ready to build their life and their business, their relationships from a place of alignment, not from proving or chasing or overthinking or living off the expectations of others, but really coming from the place that is true for you. And in this container, this is where you remember who you are. So Rise and Align, I'd love to share and love to invite you into this program. If you're feeling like this is something that you're ready to step into, that you're ready to embody that version of you now, that you're done waiting and you're ready to be, then I'd love to invite you into the Rise and Align experience, because it is a beautiful container where you are going to get that support and accountability to step into your next version now and not wait. So if you're ready to manifest with intention by embodying the woman who leads, who receives, who radiates now, then this is for you, my friend. So if there's any part of you that is like, yes, I'm leaning in, I want to know more, I'm excited about this or whatever it is, like you might not know all the details just yet. Well, I can give you the page that can tell you all of the details. You can always ask me any questions about the program. But if you are feeling that pull, I'm going to invite you to lean into it and to just take that next step take a look and see what's inside and see, is this for you? And if you have any questions, you can always DM me, but you can go to thepeaceteacher.com/be her now. You'll find the link in the description and the show notes so that you can go and look at it. But we start on the fall equinox. And my friend, when I decided to shift that, even because I was going to start it September 1st, and I was like, there was something off. And I realized that it was because that fall equinox, that timing is so beautiful and so magical. And we're actually going to go 12 weeks. So we're going to go through the entire fall season of setting ourselves up for the new year, right? Setting ourselves up, being that version of us now, not waiting till January, not waiting to the new year, but actually embodying her now. How would that shift things for you, my friend? How would that shift things for you if you decided to be her now and you acted from that place and you had that support and accountability to help you be that conscious creator now? How much more powerful will you be when you enter 2026? So my friend, you are not behind. You are not doing it wrong. You are just ready for deeper alignment. And that, my friend, is what Rise and Align is all about. I would be so honored to walk this journey with you. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Rise and Align. I know it's a little bit different because we don't have our breath work. So I do want to take a few moments to just take a few deep breaths with you and just feel into the version of you who you are ready to step into now. So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and just let it go. And let's do that again. And just let it go. And on this next one, I want you to just release anything that is here that you don't want to carry into the rest of your day. Just letting it go. And in the next one, creating more space within yourself as you continue to release and let go. And if it feels good, to place a hand on your heart and just notice how you're feeling right now. Just notice what is present for you here. Continuing to take deep breaths. And just beginning to connect in with that version of you that you're now deciding to be. Notice how she feels. Notice how your body adjusts to integrate her in. Notice how your thoughts begin to shift. Notice how you now choose to walk through your day. And as you take a nice deep breath in, saying to yourself, quietly or within your mind's eye, I am her now. I am her now. I am her now. Taking a nice deep breath in, feeling that integration. And expressing so much gratitude for this version of you here right now. Gratitude for the past version of you. And gratitude for what is now possible. Taking one more nice deep breath in. as we begin to bring this episode to a close. My friend, you have now decided to be her. So be her. Choose her every single day, every single moment, every single thought. And if you're ready for deeper support in staying in that frequency, then come join us in this round of Rise and Align the Experience. It has been my honor and pleasure, as always, for you to be here today, to hold the space for you, to bring any insights, any ahas. Let me know down in the chat what came up for you. And please, please, please share this with somebody who might just need to hear these words too. And with that, my friend, we bring this episode to a close, and I remind you to keep shining your unique light.